I wasn't always this fearless, hulking testosterone tyrant that I am today. It's embarrassing to say this out loud, but actually, at one point in my life, I was a child. And as a kid, I was really afraid of horror movies, if you can believe that. Nowadays, I find them to be enjoyably bad. I really like horror movies a lot, but mainly because they're so bad, they're good. But this wasn't always the case. When I was in middle school, just some Lunchables eating, algebra studying little idiot, I couldn't stand even the idea of a horror movie. I used to cover my eyes during the commercials for horror movies during football games, or I'd just leave the room till the horror movie advertisement was over. It was too much for me. And I did finally nut up one day, and I went to the mall with my friends in probably 6th or 7th grade and saw my first horror movie, One Missed Call. It's widely considered one of the worst horror movies ever made. I think it still has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it was a movie that scared me to my very core. It changed me. It's probably the reason why I'm not afraid of horror movies now, because I got all of the possible fear one could experience across their entire life out within those 2 hours of watching that film in theaters. It was traumatizing to me. And to make it even worse, I saw it with a girl I had a crush on at the time, and I was like, okay, this is going to be big for me. She's going to see how strong and cool I am when I'm not afraid of this. I'll just fucking buckle down and make it through it, no problem, pretend it was easy. But that plan fell apart, went straight in the shitter almost immediately. I was screaming at every jump scare. I was even tearing up at one point. My blood pressure must have been at 500, and my heart was probably close to exploding with how fast it was beating. It was miserable, and there's no way she thought I was cool. She probably thought she was going to need to call 911 or something. Like, my whole group was probably concerned. I was the only one reacting this way. I was going nuts. From outside that theater auditorium, people must have thought there was a kid being tortured in there. It must have sounded like that scene in Casino Royale when James Bond is getting his nuts fucking blasted by the villain. I was going crazy. And the horror movie, like, looking back on it, wasn't like a good idea or anything. One Missed Call is basically you get a phone call, they leave a voice message, and it's the sound of you dying. And then as the movie goes, the person who receives that voice message does die in that same way that they heard on the phone. Not the scariest of ideas for a horror movie ever, but this was during a time when the Motorola Razr was still new and I had one, so I had like my own custom ringtone, which was Let Your Shoulder Lean by them Franchise Boys, and technology was this like weird and wacky new thing, so that idea was enough to scare me. And then the movie itself had a lot of jump scares, which also like I'd never experienced a jump scare before, so when that shit was happening, I couldn't contain myself. So I found a video that I actually recorded, I think almost 2 years, maybe even 3 years ago with Jackson, where we went back and watched One Missed Call, kind of like as a way of going back and conquering my fear, because it was time for revenge. Like, this movie scared me one time, but not this time. So Jackson and I went back and watched it. He wanted to see what movie actually scared me, and I wanted to see if the movie was even scary to begin with. So I'll just show you some clips from that.
So wait, were you scared because of the contents of the movie, or did the quality of the movie scare you? Which one?
It was definitely the movie itself. Like, it set out to scare people, and it certainly worked on me. It wasn't like an ironic thing.
So do you remember anything about this? The setting or the characters?
I remember certain scenes, but I don't overall remember, like, what happens.
That place is on fire. Why was she getting so close to this?
She saw a cool fish.
Oh no. Ah! So wait, the phone call says you're gonna die, or would the phone call have said you're gonna die when you lean over the fish pond and I grab your face and pull you in?
You're misunderstanding. So the phone call is you screaming as you die. Like, it's your death.
The fuck, did the cat get the phone call?
Yeah, man, so now I'm having sex and phone sex at the same time.
Phone sex.
That was some alpha Chad shit. Now I'm having sex and phone sex at the same time.
From now on, I only go to parties where no one gets cremated.
That's probably pretty cool. Pretty good rule of thumb.
Today, my 24-year-old daughter drowned.
It says it's from Shelly.
So just don't answer.
I've been calling from Shelly's phone.
I think that's one of their genius plans towards the end. Maybe that's how they beat her.
That's
Sounds like Charlie Brown's parents talking.
Yeah, what is it?
Do you see what I mean now?
That's your voice.
No. Oh, it's her voice?
Yeah, that was her.
I can tell you how you die, but it plays your last few seconds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another thing. They always leave behind that little ball. I remember that.
A Dragon Ball.
Oh baby.
How did she fall?
Yeah,
Yeah, he has.
absolutely.
And that's why he's so freaked out, yeah.
Just a nice hobgoblin going back to work.
Head screwed on.
Is his head still screwed on?
It was that goddamn
Oh!
hobgoblin.
Setting up a C4 explosion up there. He just spat that out. I'm excited to see how she dies here.
This whole scene, I closed my eyes, or not closed my eyes, but I turned my head away from and covered my eyes.
Really?
Yep.
You were that much of a pussy?
I was.
Oh, yeah, I'm interested in finding out what was so scary about this movie.
you, darling?
Oh, fuck.
Did that actually scare you?
A little bit. I don't know if it was because they was holding a phone or what. Maybe I'm scared of phones now.
Yeah, this whole scene.
Jesus of Nazareth! You haunt this child of
Looking
God.
at it now, though, it's like a video game cutscene.
Yeah, this is really bad.
Stop tormenting. Haunt this place.
I told you not to go on this phony baloney show.
Guys, take it easy. I'm a cop.
I'm a cop. I can kill Satan. Why is no one helping him?
They're not paid to help.
You okay?
Look, your friend's fine. Oh, that's fucking disgusting. Oh, now he's gonna look through it and he's gonna get fucking killed. Oh no! This is the cheesiest.
You don't know that for sure yet, Jackson. Anything can happen. It's one missed call.
Uh-huh.
This Thunderdome
Look through
is
it, I
lawless.
dare you.
No! No, wait, no!
So the kid is locked in a perpetual asthma attack. That sucks. Why did the mother wait so long to do this?
Now she's free to roam the earth.
She'll do the same thing, but with compliments. You hear yourself having a good day on the voicemail. So the mother didn't really save her. Just kind of threw her back into the phone.
I swear every one of these movies ends the same way.
They really do.